pardon me, I'm actually using my earphone, so I'm sticking one earphone in one ear. So because I'm going to toggle my PowerPoint slides by myself. So yeah, shall we start? Let's go. Okay. So this is my flow of the presentation. So basically the first part is about why awareness, and then we'll do a lesson demo, and then we have a group discussion, and lastly, you all can have a hands-on try on some of the devices that I actually brought for you to actually play. Okay, so what is visual impairment? So basically, there are two main groups. One, they are actually either totally blind or very, very low partial. So these students, their mode of study is using Braille, or actually computers with a screen reader. So the other group is partially sighted or partially blind. Their needs are actually more complex because the degree of vision may vary from person to person. They may use a large screen on A3 paper, or they can actually use can help them read by using the aid of electronic magnifiers or even manual magnifiers. So their needs are actually more complex. So if you have students who are partially blind, you will need to actually check out on their vision, the degree of vision, so that you can recommend actually the best way for them to actually read and write. Yeah, and they use print. Okay, so what's visual impairment? Basically, if you are wearing spectacles that can correct your vision, you're not visually impaired. Okay, so visual impairment is when, with the aid of a pair of spectacles, you still are not able to see properly. Yeah, and the doctors will actually diagnose your visual impairment. So this is how this normal vision, that what you are actually seeing. Just now I mentioned about this. Okay, most common condition for visual loss. This is not exhaustive. There are many other reasons, but these are only some very common ones, like aging, diseases, eye injuries, birth defects where people are born with the condition. Okay. So I shall briefly go through some types of vision loss. Again, this list is not complete. Yeah, I just chose a few examples which you actually see. So macular degeneration, this is how a person with this condition will be seeing through their lenses. And this may also vary because it depends on how severe is the condition. Okay, so this is the whole list, right? Oops, okay, this one. This is how a person with macular degeneration will see through their lens. This one as well. So this is how a person actually see through his lens. Okay, retinitis pigmentosa. I would like to pause here because RP is a very common condition nowadays, and there are many children or even adults that actually are diagnosed with this condition. And RP usually is gradual. Their vision will actually deteriorate over time, and we call this also tunnel vision because the vision will become narrower and narrower, and to a point where they can only see the center part, just like a pinhole. So the peripheral sights they are not able to see. So with this condition, if you give them the enlarged print, it will not help them at all because they can only see the tiny area in the middle. This one very common cataract, which we can be corrected if you undergo surgery, but it really depends on the condition as well. Glaucoma is also another very common condition that many people with visual impairments face. So it's eye pressure in the eyes, and they need to actually put eye drops very frequently in the day to actually control the eye pressure. And for people with this condition, their vision varies quite drastically. It can be good partial, they are able to see pretty well. It can be not so good, they use the aid they need to read with the aid of electronic magnifiers, and some are totally blind. They can't see anything except for probably light and shadows. So they vary quite a lot. Okay, now let's move on to some basic sighted guide techniques. If you encounter a person with visual impairment, these are some tips for you to actually take note of when you interact with the person who is visually impaired. Okay, introducing yourself. For example, myself, I'm visually impaired. Okay. Some of you may wonder whether am I able to actually see shadows or light, or just a little bit. I can't see totally because both my eye nerves are damaged, so I don't even see light. Yeah. So when you interact with me, especially for the first time, when you want to say hello, please come up to me and say hello, and then introduce your name. You know, I won't be able to actually. I will try to match your voice to your name if I can remember. Okay, give me directions. Okay, very general words like here, there doesn't really work for us because when you say here and there, I will think you'll be using your hands to point in the direction which we are not able to actually see you. Yeah, so try to actually use, let's say, degree. Turn to your left 45 degrees or even 90 degrees. So we will actually orientate ourselves and position our directions. And also be specific when you are describing obstacles. Like for example, if ahead of us is, let's say, a drain, then you try to remember to actually let us know that there's a drain in front and how big. So usually when you actually walk with a person with visual impairment, the person will actually hold a cane. So it will be good if the visually impaired person uses the cane to actually feel how wide is the drain or how deep is the step down, or up. Okay, do you know what's tactiles? That's right. Okay, so when I flew in on Monday, I was so happy to actually find out that there are tactiles in the airport. Yeah, when I alighted from the aeroplane, coming out, there's actually tactiles for me to actually follow, which I didn't see it last year when I came to Bangkok. Then I realized that I think there's a new wing, right, that was extended. So they built that in really to aid people with visual impairment. And that is actually very helpful. So when you see these tactiles, try not to stand on the tiles, because if there is person with visual impairment, when they walk, they will use their tactile to trail, and if you are in the way, they will actually knock you. Yeah. Okay, guiding. When you guide a visually impaired person, let the person hold onto your elbow. Yeah. So why elbow? Is because when we hold onto your elbow, we can actually feel your body movement going up or down. Yeah. So that's the best place to actually hold. Can I get a volume? Then I can actually. Dr. Samad, you want to be my guest? So basically, if I were to hold, if you were to guide me, you hold my hand and direct me onto your elbow. Okay. So this is then you just hold. So I'll be like probably half a step behind the person. Yeah. So this is how we actually tell our sighted friends or sighted students or sighted colleagues to guide us this way. Okay. Thank you. I will need another volunteer. Actually hold my cane. Sorry, just now I used my cane on my right hand side. So the other thing that I wanted to show you all is this. When you guide a person with visual impairment who is using a cane, never hold onto the person's cane. Never hold onto the person's cane and guide. Or even sometimes, the person who wants to guide us actually hold onto this end. So sometimes I do meet people who actually guide us. So what will happen if you do that? Right? It's a long distance. Long distance because my cane is long. But the reason why this can never work for us is because this is actually our pair of eyes. Right? So if you lift up our canes, we won't be able to actually feel. We use the cane to actually feel whether there are steps up or steps down. Yeah, so if you lift it up, then we are really truly blind. Helpful public person, we will tell the person that, okay, can we hold onto your elbow, or can you let my cane down so that I can feel the ground. So it's not just the public's responsibility, but I think it's also the person with visual impairments responsibility is to actually educate the public how to actually guide us in a proper way. Okay, onto a chair. Right. Best if you can actually guide the person's hand to the, if there's a backrest, show the person onto the top of the chair's backrest and then use the hand to trail down for the contour so that we will know where exactly to sit. And we can actually sit on the chair by ourselves once we know the orientation of the chair. Yeah, so never push the person onto the chair. Yeah, because we did meet some people like this. Some of my students also shared that their buddies were trying to show them the chair, then they didn't know, so they just pushed them onto the chair, and then in the end they actually landed on the ground. Eating. Okay. This is important because when we go out to a restaurant or even to a hawker center, food court, right? We don't know what do the stores sell. So for our sighted guide, it will be helpful if you can actually let us know what are the different types of food, what are the different types of drinks that is sold in that food court or restaurant. Right? So when you read the menu to us, don't just read what are the items sold. Include the prices, please, because sometimes we need to consider which is cheap or which is not too cheap for us to actually order. So I'd like to actually tell you a little story. When I was in university, I went out with my uni grad classmates, and we are a group. We went to actually, I think it was Coffee Bean, and I've never been to a cafe last time. Yeah, I'm actually quite a home person, so I don't really go out, except for when I was in uni. I went out more because I was staying in a hostel. So I went out with my classmates, and they were asking me what I want to eat. So I said, but I don't know what is there. So they read out to me the different cakes and the different drinks. Then I wanted, I think it was mud pie, but I don't know how much it costs. Then I did not ask what's the price. Then I never mind, I hope I got enough cash. So I said, okay, I want mud pie, and luckily it was within the amount that I can afford in my wallet. Yeah, so these are embarrassing situations that we want to try to avoid. Always include the prices, yeah, to the food and drinks. And when we are eating, like if it's on the plate, you can actually use the clock face. Yeah, clock face to actually tell us, let's say rice is at 6 o'clock, vegetable is at 3 o'clock, and chicken is at 10 o'clock. So this is actually very helpful. So earlier on, do you remember when I talked about directions? I said you can use the degrees, like 45 degrees or 90 degrees. You can also use clock face, yeah, to actually let us know which direction to actually face. Then we'll adjust accordingly. Can I actually ask all of you all to put on your blindfolds, please? Don't peek at the diagrams. We actually make our own models. We make use of recycled materials and build our own models to actually let the students feel the 3D, how does the diagram of that thing look like. So we do have a few in our classroom to actually help the student better understand. Yeah. Actually, I got a math question, but I don't know whether should I do it with you. We complicated a lot. Okay, so just now you all saw my models, right? So I have two questions for this particular diagram. Okay, I wanted you all to actually find let's say the surface area of the whole solid. So when I talk about surface area of the whole solid, it's actually just the surface, correct? What you see outside the solid. So sometimes when we teach our students, they may not be able to actually understand exactly what is surface area. Then they'll end up, let's say, because I say there are two shapes, right, a cone and a cylinder. And then they'll tell me, oh, total surface area of the cone. You find the surface area of the curve, surface of the cone, and then plus the base area. Anybody can tell? Can just shut up? It's a cup of coffee, Two shapes. Actually, there are two shapes. Two shapes that are combined together. Actually, you're actually quite close. You're actually quite close. A bit, yeah. It looks a little bit like actually one part is it looks like okay. It's actually the cylinder and then the two base area of the cylinder. But then we have to actually let them understand, Okay, so the models actually helps a lot. When we combine the models together, then they will realize that the cone-based area is actually not counted when we talk about surface area. And one of the base area of the cylinder is also not counted because it's combined together. I have two little models as well. In my hands I have two models. One is a triangular pyramid. The other one is a pyramid that has a square base. So we also make use of this model to actually explain to our kids how does the solid look like if they really don't understand. And yeah, all my students will be able to actually understand after they feel the Can you probably jot down? I give you all around like probably 5 minutes to do just a quick share at your tables. At your tables, can you do a quick share on how you all feel? Yeah, when you all are blindfolded and you all feel the diagrams. Just a quick share, and then someone at the table do actually write down if possible. On your table, there are actually 2-3 pieces of square paper, blank paper. You all can actually write down. School, they also use it in their classroom to actually explain to their students if their students don't quite understand. Okay? So these models are not just for students with visual impairments to use. You can also use it for your students, your sighted students. Writing down your thoughts. Okay, we have to move on because of time. Someone will go round to collect what you have written. Okay, can you all pass it to them, two gentlemen? And let me carry on with my presentation. Okay, so this is a so-called the group discussion that you all actually just did. Yeah. Okay, this part is let's have fun with braille and technology. Okay, before braille was invented, now braille is actually invented by Louis de Braille. He's from France, and before he invented braille, it was actually called raised type. What is raised type? Raised type is just print letters which are embossed. So you can imagine if the print letter is very tiny and you emboss it, you won't be able to actually feel. So it must be of a certain size. Then just now, earlier on when you feel the braille diagrams, you'll realize it's actually one braille diagram on one page. Because we need to actually expand the diagram. If you were to see the little diagram that you are used to in print, we may not be able to actually feel the details. So we usually have to expand our diagrams. So in the past, raised type is used for the blind, and that means their books are very limited. It's actually quite a lot, yeah, when they produce it. You can't have many words on one page. So what is braille? Braille is a system of raised dots, and mainly they are made up of 6 dots, 2 columns, 3 rows. So different positions of the dots will represent different alphabets or different sign. Yeah, so this is how a full braille cell looks like. 6 dots, 2 columns and 3 rows. And they are actually numbered from, if you look at the left hand side, that 1 column, 3 dots downwards. The top one is dot 1, then dot 2, dot 3. Then on the right, dot 4, dot 5, dot 6. So sometimes when we teach braille to our students, we will actually use numbers. Let's say, okay, H is dots 1, 2, and 5. Okay, so braille is actually used by blind people to read and write, and this is actually kind of is our handwriting, is literacy, right? So when when a child lost his sight, we will need to teach them Braille in order for them to actually be able to read and write, just like a sighted kid when they are born and they join preschool, they will learn to write the alphabets. And so this Braille is also really our literacy, our writing method. Okay, so this is the Braille alphabets, the Braille chart, A to Z. Now, how Braille is written? Slate and stylus. Okay, this is still being used in many developing countries. I brought some samples. You all can actually play with them later on. Okay, so basically it's just. Oh, I can show you again. So basically you feed the paper onto the slate, and then you use a stylus to actually poke the dots. Tedious is poking the dots one by one. Yeah, but people who uses slate and stylus are very, very proficient. They can actually really create their real materials very, very fast. Okay. So this is slate and stylus. We move on to the next one. Yeah, then after that we take out the paper and then it is being read the other way around. So you can imagine it's actually like a reverse, right? You have to think, instead of dots 1, 2, 3 on the left, you have to think dots 1, 2, 3 on the right. Later on you can actually play with my slate and stylus. Okay, Perkins Braille. Perkins Braille is the next invention that helped a lot. This is a demonstration. So it's this antique looking machine. Okay, you roll the paper in, and it's made out of nine keys. Okay, 6 dots with a space bar in the middle, and then 1 to go next line and 1 to go back space. It can be a bit noisy. You are not able to hear because I plug in my audio, so I'm hearing it. Yeah, but this machine is actually very useful. My students are actually loaned, not given, 1 machine each, and they bring this to class because it's their paper and pen. That's how they write their notes in class and in the classrooms. Okay, the next one, the more advanced one, is the electronic version of a so-called electronic version of a Braille. Okay, so it's a Braille note. I also brought one. Later on, you can actually take a look. Okay, it's electronic. You will see a refreshable Braille display in front, 1 line, and the dots go up and down. Yeah, because it's electronic. So this is like a mini Braille computer. We can store books inside that, and we can actually read. The only disadvantage about this machine is two disadvantages. 1, very, very costly. Okay, 2, it gets damaged pretty easily because of the Braille display. It's very sensitive. You cannot have water. So our climate, right, our weather is actually very humid. So we have dust and water vapor in the air. So if you don't look after them, and if the user don't dry their hands before they actually feel the Braille display, it can be damaged easily. And every single Braille dot is important because 1 dot missing, it means a very different alphabet. Okay, now remove the Braille challenge. Let's try, okay? Can you try to decode this? It's 1 word. we shut up? What's the first letter? Ah, correct. One line, right? It's the same as the cited print L. One line. Yes. The next letter? The next letter? E. Yes, correct. It's E. Yeah. Then the A. Oh, one dot. Then R. Good. Then after that? After R? N. Yes, correct. It's N. I. Yes. NG. Yes. So the word is learning. Yes, it's learning. Okay, learning. Very good. Okay, the next one. Yes, correct. D after the second letter is R. Yes. Then A. Yeah, one dot. Yeah. And then what is after A? I. Yes. The next two letters should be easy, right? Yes, correct. Braille. Correct. So learning Braille. Yes. Okay, let's move on. This one. Last two words. I. S. Yes. Correct. Yes. One word is. F is correct. What's after F? No, it's not A. You must look at the braille chart. Quite towards the back. U. Yes. Correct. It's U. And then the last letter? N. Correct. So what is the full phrase? Yeah, learning Braille is fun. Is it fun? Yeah, so learning Braille is fun. Okay, so when we teach them Braille, we actually have to find ways and means to actually make it actually fun for the young ones to actually learn. If not, it is quite tedious. Yeah. And I would like to actually say also, Braille is made up, there are mainly two Braille codes. Okay, grade 1 and grade 2. What is grade 1 Braille? Grade 1 Braille is where what you have seen. Learning Braille is fun. There's no contractions at all. It's letter by letter by letter. That's grade 1. But there's also a grade 2, which all my students are using because when they come up to from key primary 2 or primary 3, they will have to actually use grade 2 Braille. Now grade 2 Braille is contracted Braille. That means there's a lot of short forms. So, like for example, the alphabets itself, like C, alphabet C by itself in grade 2 represents the word can, C-A-N. H by itself represents the word have, H-A-V-E. Why do we need contractions in Braille? Because if you were to actually use grade 1 Braille throughout the whole book, it will be very, very thick. Already with a grade 2 contracted Braille, our books are very bulky, and one side print book can come out to like 3, 5, or even 8 or 10 Braille volumes. So that is actually very big. Just now you all feel my tactile diagrams. That is the size of my book. The size, yeah, the size, the length and breadth. And then you add on, let's say, if it's, there are 60 pages, so that is how thick one Braille book is. So it's very, very bulky. Yeah, so we have to use contracted Braille to actually, for the students to actually read and write. Okay. We actually have come to the end of my presentation. Yeah, I would like to thank all of you to for being such a wonderful student, yeah, student and actually participant. Do you have any questions?
Penny, by the way, I have to say that we would like to thank you so much about your fruitful and fun presentation. I would like to give the floor for the audience to ask you some questions. Does anyone have a question? Please raise your hand, and you can ask in Thai. ถามเป็นภาษาไทยได้นะคะเดี๋ยวแปลให้ค่ะ Yes, please.
Hello, good morning. I'm Hajaratna from Brunei. I'm a special education impaired. Yes, I have a few hearing impaired students at my school. So my question is, are you student in primary and teaching primary student?
That means it's a mainstream school, but we have students with visual impairments studying alongside their sighted peers.
But you have a special center for your student with hearing impaired?
Hearing impaired is they do have special schools for hearing impaired, but they also have inclusive schools for the hearing impaired.
So you're teaching in a mainstream school?
Yes,
But
correct.
you have a special class. I mean, you have a special
Yes.
class. Okay.
For my school in Singapore, we have 2 secondary schools which are active now with students with visual impairments. My school, Ahmad Ibrahim Secondary School, and the other one is Bedok South Secondary School.
Okay.
So these are schools that have resource centers for the students to actually. I mean, we are there as resource teachers to actually help them because they study together with their sighted peers in the classroom. They attend normal lessons, but when they during their so-called subjects that they don't take, for example, let's say art, they actually don't join the mainstream class for art. Yeah, then they will come to us and then we'll do the coaching part because like what you have tried on just now, just filling the tactile diagrams, they need time to actually understand. So they need the additional help and additional time to actually for us to actually go through with them again.
Okay. When they are in the mainstream class,
yes.
Are there any helper or teacher aid?
Don't have. They are expected to actually listen in class, and our teachers in, let's say, my school, okay, my teachers are actually very used to, and they do have teaching methodology that they actually make use of to include our students in when they teach. So certain things, when they, let's say, if they were to write on the board, they will not just show and point, they will try to verbalize as much as they can.
So may I know how many teachers helping you in the class?
In my class, my special class,
my
special class, myself and 2 other colleagues. Yeah, 2 other colleagues. One of them, she's actually semi-retired.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are they both sighted teacher?
Oh, totally blind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Sure, thank you. Our primary school is a special school in Singapore. So primary school, the students with visual impairments will attend the special school. Then when they come up to secondary school, then they will be integrated in the mainstream schools.
Right. Thank you so much, and thank you for your question. I would like to add more information because I have visited Penny and her school. If I say something wrong, you can correct Penny. Wow, the school is like the inclusive classrooms. That means in one classroom, there will be, the blind student, the VI student, they study together with the regular students, the sighted students, but they're gonna have like assistive technologies like I have seen the calculators and also like the computer. Well, that will be like a sound to help the student to know what is it correct or not when they type, things like that. Okay, well, I think that we still have time for one more question. Oh, okay, please.
ครับอันนี้ขอมีความรู้สึกแรกที่ในเรื่องของกิจกรรมปิดตานะครับ ก็คืออึดอัดอันดับแรกคือความมืดมองไม่เห็นแล้วรู้สึกอึดอัดอยากที่จะถอดหน้ากากออกทันทีเพราะว่าเราเคยมองเห็นเราก็มองเห็นอยู่นะครับเพียงแต่ว่าพอปิดตาเข้าไปแล้วตัวเองอาจจะเป็นคนที่ไม่มีเกี่ยวกับสัมผัสพวกนี้คือคลำอะไรก็มองก็ไม่รู้ว่ามันคืออะไรคนอื่นอาจจะรู้ต่อกันแต่ตัวเองเป็นอะไรไม่รู้นะครับไม่สามารถที่จะบอกได้ทั้งสองภาคบอกไม่ได้เลยว่ามันคือรูปอะไรนะครับก็อยากจะถ่ายทอดความรู้สึกว่าเพียงแค่เวลาแค่สั้นๆเรายังรู้สึกอึดอัดนะครับก็ขอเป็นกำลังใจให้คุณครูนะครับมีซิสเพนนีนะครับรู้สึกถึงความพยายามของคุณครูนะครับในการถ่ายทอดลูกศิษย์ชื่นชมครับเริ่มอยู่มิสซิสเพนนี
Have you heard the interpreter? You don't use an earphone, right? Okay, so I will translate what she told you. She said that just a short time that she used a mask and she couldn't see anything, and then she feel like she's very she feel uneasy, and it's so hard for her to identify what picture it is, like she said that she couldn't tell at all. So just for a short time, she feels very uncomfortable. So she appreciates you so much, and she said that she loves you. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, the last part I understand.
All right.
So yes, so that is actually my intention to actually let you actually feel a little bit how a person with visual impairment actually feel or look, right? Feel, and then we use our other senses. So you will realize that we will quickly train our sense of touch and also our sense of hearing. It's not as if that our hearing suddenly boom becomes super. It doesn't work that way. It's basically because we focus more on our hearing, so we can actually concentrate more on hearing, and then we can hear better. Yeah.
Okay, that's a benefit. All right, thank you so much. I think that we still have 10 minutes left, right? So maybe one. Okay. Oh, it seems like so many people would like to ask questions. Okay.
Thank you very much. I am from Laos, Ministry of Education and Sport, from Laos. So thank you very much for your very insightful presentation. And we learn a lot from you. It's my first time to learn about this, how to say, the braille, yeah. So my question, when you talk about inclusive education, so could you please elaborate more about the pro and con of inclusive education? Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Sure. Okay, so our Singapore system, right? We have our students with visual impairments attending the special school in primary school. So that is the foundation years for them to actually build up the foundation and to pick up skills. Then when they move on to secondary school, they will be integrated in school and they will be included. That is like a really inclusive education. They study together with their sighted peers. And after secondary school, after they leave my school, they will move on to tertiary education. And when they come to tertiary education, they are actually more or less on their own. There is no longer a resource center or resource teacher to actually help them with their materials. Because if they do have reading materials, for now, I'm the resource teacher, I will make sure that they have the materials prepared for them. Right? But when they move on to tertiary education, they need to be independent, they need to be ready to actually do things, find ways to actually assess their materials by themselves. And of course, when they move on to the workforce, it's all on their own. So I find this system actually trains our young people to be independent, slowly gain confidence and independence over their education years. And it's just a step by step. You know, from primary school, they are in a special school, then secondary school, they are with the sighted peers, but they still have us to help them. And then when they move on to tertiary, they are on their own, but they still can request for a little bit of help for their association. But when they move on to the workforce, they'll be totally on their own. We cannot expect the employers to help them, so they will need to be able to actually really figure out how to survive in the world. So this is the inclusiveness, is important so that they are able to be ready, future ready when they join the workforce.
Thank you very much for your question, and I think Penny has been a wonderful inspiration for everyone, right? I just wanted to offer my help to Penny that if you are interested in some of the more policy, larger perspectives, then maybe I could just help to add on. But it is up to Penny to, I think she will give a very good perspective at the school level. So I'm from the Ministry of Education. I wanted to say a little bit about the inclusive education. So at the end of the day, we make the decision what is best for the child. For some children, it is better for them to be in a special needs school because the special needs school may be able to cater to them better. But for students who are high functioning and able to integrate into the mainstream school, we try as much as possible to integrate them. I think Penny has very wonderfully explained the benefits of it for students with special learning needs like visually impaired. Ultimately, is to help them to be confident and to lead independent and fulfilling lives. But there are also benefits for the other students when they learn together with students with special learning needs. I think the most important thing is they become a lot more empathetic. That, to be more sensitive and aware that there are students who are very different from them and how they can also help students who may need and function and live together. So sometimes it is a difficult decision for some parents to decide whether to send their children to a special needs school or to a mainstream school. At the end of the day, the school will advise based on what is best for the child. So I think Penny's school is a very different type of school where we try to give additional resources to help students with visual impairment. And I think Penny is a wonderful inspiration to her students when they see the teacher being able to lead such a fulfilling life and being able to also contribute and teach. And I think that is a very good inspiration for our students. If you are interested to know more about the special learning needs, maybe you could just come by and speak to Penny or myself about that. Thank you so much for your information about the inclusive classroom.
I'd like to add a little bit นะคะขออนุญาตคือคนนี้พิเศษนะคะอันนี้เป็นไม่ใช่เป็นเมื่อวานที่เห็นมิสซิสชัวนะคะมิสซิสชัวเป็นรองอดีตรองเบียทริสเป็นอดีตรองปลัดคือรับตำแหน่งต่อจากมิสซิสชัวที่สิงคโปร์ผู้บริหารคือระดับรองปลัดมากับคุณครูแล้วก็มาสนับสนุนคุณครูแล้วก็ช่วยไปตลอดเลยก็คือสนับสนุนจริงๆวันนี้เบียทริสก็ดูเกี่ยวกับด้านคุณครูทั่วสิงคโปร์เลยฉะนั้นอุตส่าห์มาพูดเองแล้วก็ให้กำลังใจแล้วให้เป็นตัวอย่างเนี่ยก็ให้ปรบมือที่
Thank you so much and thank you, Beatrice, for your more information. So at this stage, I think that the other time is out and it's going to be the coffee break time soon. So at this point, I believe that you have more understanding. I mean, when we decide something, we should think about other people, including people with visual impairment. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. And I know that everyone would like to take a photo with Penny. So I would like to take this chance for a quick photo. Thank you so much.
And if anyone